Order up!
Welcome to a brand new episode of the Aura Podcast. Of course, I'm Terran Williams. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode and hanging out with me for a little bit. So, in this episode, we're going to be talking about the entire first season of Invincible on Amazon Prime. Before we get started, spoiler alert, I'm going to be talking about the entire first season, bits and pieces, story elements, plots, my favorite characters, my favorite moments, and things like that. So, if you have not checked out the series, please pause this podcast, go watch the first season. It's 8 episodes. Every episode's about 45, 50 minutes long. Go check that out and then come back and listen to the podcast. You'll appreciate it. You'll thank yourself. I promise. You in the future will appreciate you pausing, watching, and resuming this podcast later. All right, let's get into it. I really love Invincible. I hadn't really heard of the comic book before. I remember like late last year is when I first started seeing the trailers on like IGN and on YouTube and things like that. I'm like, cool. Let me keep that in mind. And it is an animated cartoon, but it is graphic as hell. It is not for kids at all. It is a superhero show, but it's very much like an animated superhero show, more in line with The Boys than anything else. It's very graphic, M-rated. It's for adults. Do not let your kids see it. If you do let your kids see it, you're the parent or guardian. You make that happen, but it's not for kids at all. Language, blood, graphic, violence. They even not really a lot of adult situations, if you will, but it is definitely geared more towards, older adults and not for younger kids. So we follow Mark Grayson, who is Invincible. He is the main protagonist. He is our hero. And one thing I really enjoy about it is he gets his ass whooped. Like, I'm in the Facebook group and we always laugh about it, and a lot of people make memes and stuff. Mark gets beat up the entire first season, like constantly. He cannot block to save his life. And my man just gets destroyed. Like, after he gets his power, he becomes a hero. Starts, kind of working towards that. Of course, at first he's a rookie, but even as he's been doing it for like, a few weeks, a couple months, he still gets his ass whooped. So I kind of like that idea of our hero, our main protagonist, still struggles. Like, he still struggles. This is one of the bigger pieces of Invincible. It's just kind of that storyline of, yeah, he's a superhero. Yeah, he's the hero. Yeah, we want him to succeed, but he has to figure that out. And right now, he gets his ass just whooped throughout the entire first season. Which makes sense that someone actually mentioned this on Facebook, which was really cool. You think about it, like if Mark's fighting someone who's weaker than him, he's fine. Someone who's like, maybe a little bit lower than him, maybe equal to lower than him, he's fine. He holds his own. But as soon as there's like a power level above him or so on, he can't handle it because he's just not there yet. He's just not that experienced. He's not that good. He just gets his ass kicked all the time. It's really cool. And then you have to flip over to his dad, who is Omni-Man, Nolan, just a complete savage. He's a monster. Like, if you compare him to Homelander from The Boys, he makes Homelander seem reasonable. It says a lot. If you watch The Boys, Homelander is crazy as all hell. And so, and the series is just good. Like, the series just ramps up. Like, all the characters do a pretty good job of telling their stories, and you feel for everybody. Even the villains, you kind of understand their villains. One of my favorite episodes, I forget what episode it is, but it's the one where Mark helps Titan, who's just like, and he's, a criminal in the city, kind of beat his old boss. And Titan actually plays Mark into helping him. Because, oh yeah, my boss, he sucks, he's this and that, he's evil. But really what Titan was really doing is creating a power vacuum, so they kill him, or I think he goes to jail. His old boss, I forget his name, it's like Metalhead or something. His boss goes to jail, and Titan takes over the crime industry in the city. Bam! So now Titan is like, kind of the kingpin's type criminal figure in the city, which is crazy. It's not just that, like, because like Titan has like a daughter and a wife, so you kind of can tell through the episode his wife kind of knows what he does. His wife knows what he does. But his daughter's like, "Oh, Daddy, are you a hero?" And he never really responds. But by the end of the episode, you realize his whole family knows that he's a criminal, and they know that he's taken over this big criminal empire. So they're just down with it, which I kind of like. That was such a cool little detail, because a lot of times you have, criminals. Sometimes their family knows, but a lot of times they're like their moral compass, and it's like, you know what? I won't do a lot to jeopardize my family. My family, they won't like me for this. They'll probably hate me for this. Titan's family's like, shit. You a criminal? We criminals too. But I forget what episode that is, but that was actually a really cool episode. But yeah, like, it follows a little superhero trope where Mark gets his powers and he's so excited. Excuse me. But then it just kind of it ramps up so quickly because it's not just being a hero, it's dealing with not just stuff in the city, but bigger threats. You meet Alan the alien who works for like this galactic police force in space. They kind of have like a little fight, but then Alan tells him, "Oh no, I'm actually a good guy," and blah blah blah, and they talk, which was really cool. Mark goes to Mars to help out with like a space expedition. That shit goes kind of sideways. But also one of my favorite parts of the show is how they do the title card. So the name of Mark's name is Invincible. That's his superhero name. So of course you think, okay, that's gonna be the name. That's the name of the show. That's the title screen, right? But how they do the title screen is whenever a character says the word Invincible, that's when they drop it. And it could be like the first episode. They don't drop it until almost the end of the episode because that's when he first says. I think someone says Invincible, and they drop it. It's such a cool way they do it because then, of course, after Mark gets his name, sometimes he says in the beginning, sometimes it's mentioned a little bit later on. So it's just a cool way of dropping the title screen. It's something I saw on Facebook a little bit earlier. In my Facebook group that I'm in, someone shared it. Is that actually the title screen progressively gets more bloody as the show goes on. So it starts. The first episode is relatively clean. It's just Invincible and just the blue of his uniform or of his costume. By episode 8, it's super bloody. The blood's covering almost the entire name. It's super dark. Like the blood is just like this really deep colored red. It's wild. And I actually didn't notice that. And that's such a cool progression of the story, just to kind of show you. Like, at first, he's clean. He ain't done nothing. Okay, he's got beat up a little bit more. And by the end of it, because in episode 8, he fights his dad. He fights Omni-Man. Yeah, Omni-Man just destroys him. Like, it's such a gruesome 8th episode, and you're just like, holy shit, it's crazy. And then some of the other characters, I like his mom. I think Debbie's just a great character for just his mom is just a great moral compass for him. I just love the way she handles it, like where she started to figure out Nolan did some dirt, but she didn't know how to approach it. She just handled it really well. Adam Eve, I think, is really good. I like Adam Eve as a character. And this is so many like little interweave. We have all these like little interesting stories, like the Mahler twins, who are like the first bad guys you actually get introduced to. You get introduced to them in episode 1, and then they're still around by episode 8. They have their own little story arc where they're actually like super smart scientists, and they do like really good with cloning and understanding how cells regenerate and how cells develop and things like that. Then of course you have like was it the team or the team teams? Team It's like TT. I think it's Team Teens or something like that. That's actually the original group that Adam Eve is in. They're not the Teen Titans, pretty much. You have Guardians of the Globe, who is this universe's version of the Justice League. Then you have the Team, which is basically their Teen Titans. Their Young Justice, their Young Avengers. They're kind of that team. And is Adam Eve, Duplicate, Rexploder, Robot. And there's a couple of people I think that died. Or yeah, that's kind of pretty much the team in the beginning. And what happens is the Guardians of the Globe get killed by Omni-Man, and so they have to recruit new people. And so they recruit, pretty much everybody from the team comes back except for Adam Eve. She doesn't want nothing to do with it, and they get some other guys to come with, like Monster Girl, I forget, Shrink Girl or something like that, and the other guy, I forget their names. But they're not the best. Like, they're legit like a B- C+ team. Like, they have nothing to touch. They can't touch the Guardians of the Globe. So I'm hoping as the series goes on, they get better. But yeah, like Adam Eve, she's the one doing anything. Kind of find out that Rex actually cheats on Adam Eve with Duplicate, with one of the duplicates of Duplicate. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's wild. And Adam Eve's like, what the fuck? Like, I just wanted a break. I didn't cheat on you. Because there was rumors that her and Mark were talking, that she was like on the slide with Mark, but she wasn't. She was just they were just cool. So yeah, so that happens, and then you have the whole thing with Amber. Amber's pretty trash. Like, the only reason why I give Amber so much slack because Zazie Beetz is the voice actor who does Amber. Love Zazie Beetz. I want to give Amber a chance, but Amber is so trash. Just because I don't know, she just seems super selfish. And at the end of like episode 8, she seems more remorseful and more loving, but man, she was giving Mark hell. Like, she complained that because eventually he tells her that they do date. He ends up telling her that he's invincible. She's like, "Oh, I know you're a hero. I know you're doing this, but you couldn't tell me first. Do you not follow superhero etiquette? Like that's one of the rule. That's one of the hardest things to do for any superhero because if the bad guys know who you are, they know who your loved one is. They're gonna come after them. That's superhero 101. Amber, come on, I know you read some comics. Like I know she's kind of nerdy because they talk about comics in the beginning. I know you understand this rule. Why are you giving my man so much hard time? Like, damn, Amber, be more reasonable. But yeah, so they kind of like broke up. She kicked him to the curve. Like I think episode 7, I believe, is when she kind of kicks him to the curve. And but yeah, it's such a good show. Like the writing is really well. You care about everybody. Cecil, who runs kind of like the government black ops thing with superheroes, he's kind of like their version of Nick Fury. He has some tech, and of course, he has some secrets and some stuff like that. I actually really like. I think his name was Art. Who he was like the costume designer. He made Omni-Man's costume. He actually makes Invincible's costumes. He makes a lot of the heroes' costumes. Who's actually voiced by Mark Hamill, which I didn't know that till I watched another video. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, the action is fast paced, hard hitting. People were complaining about like the animation. The animation looked low budget. I'm like, it looks like they animate the comic. Like, if you take the comic and you animated it, that's how it looked. It looks like just really clean lines. It's not super like like stylized. It's very straightforward, clean, like bright. Like everything kind of pops because of all the colors and things like that. They do a really good job of that. But a lot of people, I saw people complain, oh, the animation doesn't look that great, and oh, it looks kind of low budget. And I'm like, what? Like, it looks really good. And they already confirmed Invincible for season 2 and season 3, so I can't wait for that. But yeah, the show's really, really good. I really enjoy it. I know on one thing got like an 8.8 out of 10. I give like a 9.5 out of 10. Like it's so good. The story's really good. You get hooked. It dropped every Friday on Amazon Prime for a few weeks. So and also if you actually have Comixology, if you have like the premier membership, this is not a plug for Comixology. They're not paying me. I wish they did, but because I have Comixology personally, and actually if you have like their Prime membership, which is like $5.99 a month, I believe, you actually can download the entire Invincible series for all the volumes of Invincible for free and read the comic, which is really dope. So I'm putting that out there. So if you like the show, if you want more, you can read the comic. But yeah, I'm really serious for season 2. I've heard some stuff. People were talking about it that, kind of a little bit about like, what happens, because I have no idea what happens. But yeah, I'm excited about it. It's really good. Definitely check it out if you like superheroes. If you want something that's a little bit more M-rated, like we had Harley Quinn, which came out a couple years ago when it started. I love DC's Harley Quinn cartoon. You have Invincible. MODOK is actually coming out on Hulu at the end of May. I think it's gonna be another more mature style, more mature. I forget. Like it looks kind of like Robot Chicken. I can't think of the name of the art style. Claymation, like a claymation show. So MODOK comes out at the end of May. Check that out. Now we have Invincible, which is really, really good. Super dope. If you like superheroes, like action, you want some story. If you like blood and guts and all that stuff too, like you want, just check it out. Definitely check it out. You'll get, you'll be attached to everybody. You'll probably pick up some favorite characters along the way because everybody's pretty cool and everybody's pretty dope. So definitely check out Invincible on Amazon Prime, where you can stream it right now. All 8 episodes, the entire first season is finished. Go ahead and check that out. Please do so. It'll be well worth your time. I guarantee it. But thank you so much for hanging out and listening to this brand new episode of the Aura Podcast. Again, I greatly appreciate it so much. I always make my Aura Podcast episodes YouTube videos as well. So when it goes up on YouTube, like, share, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Of course, like and share the podcast wherever you can, wherever you want. I greatly appreciate it. Get the Aura Podcast out there. And yeah, once again, I'm Taryn Williams. Thank you so much. Remember slicing, dicing, gaming. It's not just a motto, it's a lifestyle. See you in this podcast. Later.